Hello guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Darts podcast. Today I am joined by my Super League teammate and darts reviewer Adam White. How you doing, mate? You alright?
All good, mate. You?
Yeah, I am very good. So, I thought we would start off and just get to know Adam a little bit. Start off with when you were a little bit younger and what you were up to and stuff. So, where did you grow up and when did you get into darts really as well?
Oh, I'm not a well-travelled man. Very simple life. I grew up on a farm in a village called Wortham, near Diss in Norfolk. Although Wortham is Suffolk, so I can claim to be a Suffolk boy, born and bred. And darts, I started darts really young, actually, really young. So I had older brothers, older sisters, and my mum and dad. Everyone played darts, apart from my sister, to be fair, she didn't. But my brothers played darts, and my mum and dad played darts. My dad played county for Suffolk, and my mum played county for Norfolk. So literally, I made my debut on a county stage in my mum's tummy. She was pregnant with me and stuff. So literally, always grew up around darts. They were pretty good as well. But my dad was one of them old-fashioned guys who was like, you ain't playing until you're good enough. You got to chalk. You got to do all that. So I used to go to darts with him at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, chalking all night, thinking I might get a game this week, and yeah, I think I finally got a game when I was about 11 or 12, I reckon.
So you were pretty much forced into darts.
Yeah, exactly. I
didn't really have much choice.
I had absolutely no choice. Yeah,
yeah. Because for me, I was chalking at a young age, but it wasn't because I wasn't good enough, because I wasn't allowed to play. It was because we used to just play winner stays on, and if there was 3 of us, it just meant that I was chalking every other leg, because it'd be like Colin Green and Gary Rudd, it'd be us 3, and they just wipe the floor with me all day long. So I was just talking like that all the time. So when did you first get into a team?
So literally, funny enough, my dad's team was pure filth. Like they were basically, there was a guy called, like some of you might know, a guy called Ronnie Mould played in the team. There was another guy called Melvin Norman who played in the team. Well, Melvin Norman had a county record for undefeated all season in the county A side. Ronnie Mould was just literally a god of darts. And then we had another guy in the team called Kevin Burrows, who, if you YouTube him or Google him, he's played in the PDC World Match Play and World Championship. So literally, I didn't have a lot of chance of really breaking into the team too early. But one week, literally, we were 1 short. And I remember it clear as day. I was about 11 or 12. We were 1 short. There's me. I always took my darts because literally at the end of the dart match, when the dart players were eating the sandwiches, I'd be thrown on the board. And I always took my darts, and someone's car had broken down or something. So we were 1 short. It was the old Super Sixers League back in the day. And Kevin went, "Your boy's going to have to play." And my dad was like, no, he's not. And Kevin was like, no, he's going to have to play. So I played, and believe it or not, I actually won as well. And then my dad was all smug, like, see, made you good enough.
Do you remember much about the game at all that you played, or you just remember? Do you?
I do. The only bit I can remember is I wanted 90 to win, and I went 20-20 bull. And Kevin, obviously PDC player, just been doubles partner with Rod Harrington and all that in the PDC, turned around and went, "You went the right way. That's the proper way." Whereas my old chap, being a traditionalist, was like, "What's the first one, miss treble 18 or something? Hit a 20 by mistake, did you?" So, but that was almost like the first time, like I'd noticed with dart players, the change in how people went. So 90 no longer was the treble 18s; it was treble 20. But really, you're thinking 2 big 20s, guaranteed a dart at the ball. And I went that way and I got it, and yeah, did a lap of the pub or whatever, and then went back and ate my bag of crisps and Coke. But
yeah, I had a similar one to that as well. I was probably about the same age, probably about 11 or 12, and we were playing up here in the other room. And my maths then, obviously, it wasn't that. I hadn't been playing very long. Maths then wasn't great, but it was good enough to know that this and this made this and stuff, whatever. But it wasn't like you go this route for this shot. So I was playing this one game, and I won. I was about 11 or 12, and I won, and I wanted 72 for the match. And I kind of like looked at the board, and I was like, what adds up to 72? And I was like, I know that 2 double 18s make 72, and I know that 36 and 36 is 72. And I wasn't like great at darts, and this was quite surprising for me, but I hit it in 2 darts, and the opposing team, I must have had 3 or 4 of them after the match say, "That's a good shot, but you shouldn't be going that way."
Cocky thing. You shouldn't do that. You should.
Yeah. Which actually, I mean, the 90 makes sense. The 72 not so much. But when I was standing on the oche, that was the only thing that made sense to me. That was the easiest way to go for that shot in my mind at the time. So I guess.
Yeah. But it's literally how darts has evolved, isn't it? Because I can even remember, like, not so many years ago, just local league wanted 92. And I hit a big 20 first dart, and to be fair, it was a crap dart for treble 20 anyway, like, you know. And I just straight away thought 72 2 double 18s. And half the room was like, "Oh, that's a brilliant shot," and the other half was like, "You arrogant this, you arrogant that." But now, if you don't go that way, everyone in the pub's going, "What you doing? Why didn't you?"
Yeah.
You know, you got to go double, you know, and that's like. You know, I can't imagine John Lowe would go double very much.
I was at the seniors at the weekend, actually, on the Sunday, and there were a few times where obviously they're stuck in their own ways and stuff, but there were a few times I was thinking, like, the 96 or whatever, or the 92 double 18 double top, and they never went for it, and you just think, like, you've got to evolve with the game.
Yeah.
It makes the most sense, especially if you think that you're never going to come back at the shot. You might as well.
Well, literally, like, anything in the 90s, I was always told, like, 92 through to, like, 90, 95 or whatever. 92 to 95, first dart is always at the bullseye. Always at the bullseye, because you got to back yourself to at least hit a 25, because then you just got to get a big number, and there's another dart at the ball to win it. But again, even that, people are like, "No, why? You're treble 19. Yeah, but if you miss treble 19, you still got to go double, you know what I mean? Whereas we've only got to get one double in this route. But, you know, it's changing all the time, isn't it? All the time.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to those sort of shots, like, the bullseye route, if they're on a finish, I will go the bullseye route if I don't think they're going to hit it. It's almost like that high, like 110 to 170.
Yeah.
I'd go the bullseye route. Anything else, I'd be going double because I'd be thinking that's going to be my last go at this. Because one of the players at the seniors went the bullseye route on the 94 and went 25, and Bob's like, what's he doing? I was like, I know, I'll teach you. It's another lesson later on. But yeah, it's just the way to go. So you played your first few games, and was there a point where you thought, I'm actually, like, all right at this game?
Yeah, literally. I mean, I literally wasn't even into my teen years, and then obviously after playing that game, the following few weeks I was in and out of the side. But then through one reason or another, like, the odd player would leave, and then, like I say, but my dad, he didn't. My dad was one of them annoying people that's really good at everything, but he doesn't really play a lot of it. I mean, he used to get paid a few quid to play football when he was younger. He, like, a hobby for him would be to cycle to Great Yarmouth. Like, he was a really fit guy. So obviously darts wasn't, although we were a dart family, played county, we didn't play darts 7 nights a week. Do you know what I mean? There was only 2. We played Super League on a Sunday night, and then this Super Sixes thing during the week. But then in the winter, it was just like this Friday night dart league. So then he said, right, you could play in the Friday night team. So I started playing in that, and then, yeah, I suppose really I was quite annoying to a lot of people, because I was turning up as like a 12, 13-year-old, and I'd win 75% of the games. So a lot of the older boys didn't really, they'd be a bit like, you ain't even old enough to be in. But there was some games I weren't allowed to go, because a lot of pubs then as well, you had to be 14 and over and all that sort of thing. So there's some games, Dad said, you can't come tonight. That pub said you're not allowed in. So yeah, so I was winning quite a few games, but yeah, I was also classed as like that gobby, annoying kid as well.
Yeah, because it doesn't help. Like, I'm thinking about it, I'm quite fortunate that I've never played someone who's like 10 or 11 or something who's really good, because they would definitely beat me, because it would be so in my head. I'm about to lose to a literal child. But yeah, it was similar with me as well. I remember one time we were playing, we were up here actually, and this was years and years and years ago. Now, there used to be a dartboard on the other wall where the fruit machines are now, and I played this guy, and it was Friday night summer sixes, so it was best of 5, and I beat him 3-0. And the last 3 darts of the match, I checked out 158, which was like, I was like, oh, that's nice, treble 20, double 19, and he kind of shook my hand and walked off. And a week later, the captain come up to me, and he said there's been an inquiry into the league. I was like, right. He goes, you know that guy you beat last week? I was like, yeah. He goes, he complained to the league that you weren't old enough. I was like, that's made it even worse.
Yeah, exactly. He's just dug his own grave.
Not only is he complaining that I'm not old enough, he also lost to me, and bad as well. But yeah, some people are just like that.
Oh, honestly, I remember like we played a few teams, and there was a guy. He was sort of like, he wasn't like the bestest of players. He was all right. He was just a good, steady player. And I remember I played him, and I think I won, and I won. It was a close game, but I gave it a win, and I gave it a little cheeky fist pump. Nothing, no MVG or Gerwin Price style. Do you know what I mean? Just a nice, subtle fist pump. And obviously back then, after the game, they offer you a drink and stuff. And he refused to offer me a drink because of the fist pump. He was like, I'm not getting him nothing. And I always just remember my mum literally just lost her lid. She went nuts. She went up to him and she's like, you buy him a bloody drink. And to be fair, my mum and dad never really defended me, really. They'd, if someone was going to have a go at me, they'd let them, and say, Adam will learn the hard way. But yeah, that night she proper went nuts at him, and then me and my dad and my brothers and whatnot spent most of the evening trying to drag my mum off this guy's side. But it was just that mentality back then, really. Literally pretty much that same season we played another team, and they had a couple of young lads, but they were a bit older than me. They were like in the sort of 17, 18 year olds, and we played them, and I won, and they played county youth at the time, and their dad came over to my dad and said, why does your son not play county youth? And my dad was, oh no, not good enough, sort of thing, and their dad was like, no, he'll be all right. He'll hold his own in that. Funny enough, this weekend up at Kings Lynn, there's like a Norfolk youth singles competition thing. I think your boy should go. And my dad was like, no, I'm not driving all the bloody way to Kings Lynn, because that's about an hour from us, for him to play a game of darts, sort of thing. And this guy actually turned around. Shows you the class of parenting back then. We had no clue these people were. And this guy turned around and he went, I'll come pick him up and take him. And my dad was like, all right then, if you're getting it. So my dad's just sent me off, really. And this is a Friday night. And then the Saturday morning, this guy's turned up at my house. My dad's just sending me off. I'm 13 or whatever, off for this guy to darts at Kings Lynn. But anyway, that Norfolk youth thing, I won it. And then then the following weekend, I was in the Norfolk youth county side. I come home, Dad, I'm a county player now. And he's like, no, you're not, you're a youth player. And it just went from there, literally from that.
So you are one of the most well-known darts reviewers. I think that's safe to say. A few things about the. Let's get on to how you got into doing the reviews. Like, did you have an interest in equipment and changing and doing stuff before you even got into the reviews, or was it's just a?
No, truthfully, honestly. So for me, one thing, like me well enough, like when we're at darts, I don't really talk about darts much. Do you know what I mean? For me, like when we play darts together and all the other teams play, and it's an evening out with friends, and we just so happen to have a game of darts in amongst it, and it's brilliant if we all play well and stuff. So actually talking about the darts, I find almost a little bit awkward and hard. So I'm not one of them. I was like, people talk about averages, they talk about stats, they talk about grip ratings and all this sort of thing, and I'm like, well, if they fly all right and you like them, play with them, sort of thing. So no, I was never really much of a big one into like darts and the stat side of it and all this sort of thing. And so obviously the dart review thing came about really. I mean, I was going through a sort of stage of my life where I was sort of sitting around not doing a lot, and I sort of lived on my Todd and whatnot. And obviously it was just pure chance. It was a guy that I used to work with. He literally said to me, have you seen this guy who lives just down the road from you? He's got his own darts channel thing. And I was like, no, never seen it. What's it called? And he went, it's obviously Darts Player TV and Gav and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I'll have a look. I'll watch one of his videos. So I watched a couple of videos, and I just sent him a message going, oh, mate, that's really cool. Like, just to let you know, I live just round the corner, and I never knew, like, literally where I lived in the village I grew up, like, no one even knew what darts was, do you know what I mean? So I was like, it's nice to see what you're doing. And he said, oh, well, if you ever want to come around and have a chat and talk about dart stuff, do it. So I went round and did a few little bits, messing about there. And then one evening, literally out of the blue, Chris Mason and Gav were chatting, and they said, have you noticed online, there's only a couple of guys really do the reviews. And we'd quite like someone to maybe think about doing reviews, and we reckon you could do it. And I literally laughed and went, no, sort of not a chance. But I sat there one evening and I just thought, well, I'll have a look at these other guys. And it was the guy from America and Darren. And I watched some of their videos. And this is absolutely no offence to them at all. But, you know, I just started watching it. And I found it quite hard to watch but for me, because I'm not interested in so much detail and so much this. And I was like, okay, I'll do this now. Because then I thought, I'll make it funny. And I'll make it just about like the dart and make it about like just show. Basically what I said was I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show them what the dart looked like, then I'll go throw it. And then I'll talk about it. And that's how it came about really. And that's what it was. And literally they were like, at the time Winmore were quite close to here as well. So it wasn't hard to get hold of someone from Winmore to say, send us a few bits, we're going to review them. And if you like them, send us more. And it started from that really. Basically, and it's as easy as that, really. Simple. Have a look at them, chuck them, job done.
Yeah. I think that's all that's needed. I mean, it depends on what level of information you need from a dart, really, isn't it? I mean, like you, I'm very simple. I've used the same dart, or I've used the same dart since I was probably about 18, so probably about 10 years now. And then when I got my own darts made, I just copied the same dart. So I tried reviews for a bit, but like very, very short videos, like minute-long videos.
That's it, yeah, exactly. Because that was my point, really. I mean, I remember I got a little bit of flack at the time because I sort of said, I said all dart reviews are boring or something like that, and people were like a bit arsey with me. But I didn't actually mean it like that. All I meant was for me, they are. Like, you know, if I'm the sort of person that if I'm looking, because I loved it. I used to love doing that as a kid as well. Can you remember the old Tommy Darts catalogue or Red Dragon Darts catalogue? Yeah. Well, Tommy Darts was very much similar to the Red Dragon catalogue, and that used to come in the post. And I was so excited when I got home from school, and I'd just sit there flicking through the magazine, picking out my next set of darts that I'm going to save up for and buy my pocket money and a set of flights things. So I loved all that. So obviously, looking at the dart reviews, when like the first video I ever watched, it was like 17 minutes long on one set of darts, and I'm like, well, you know, when I'm flicking through my old Red Dragon magazine back in the day, I'd completed that 3 or 4 times in 17 minutes. So I sort of thought to myself, I'd just do quick, and like, you know, I try to be funny. I'm not the funniest man in the world, but I've just thought if I could make someone laugh during the video, and also you know, just sort of talk about it a bit more, like, oh, did you see that bloody Adam, what he did this week? What set of darts was it? Do you know what I mean? Just another reason to talk about it, you know. So that's how it happened, really.
Do you find you can get on with anything? Do you find that, because I just couldn't. If there's a dart that I don't like the shape of, I will never throw them well.
Yeah, there's literally them. So the Simon, you know, the old Simon Whitlock, Connor Scuts now.
I actually have a set of them. Yeah,
I can like though. So. Little insider secret, I tell you now, and I swear on my kid's life, none of the throwing, when I throw, they're not edited. That is me throwing them. However, occasionally there will be one set, like for example the Connor Scut ones, where I will open the box and I'll go, I need 5 minutes for these. Just let me throw. I will throw these for 5 minutes, and then I'll turn the camera on. Turn the camera on now. I'm just going to have 9, 12 darts with them, and then I'll go, right, okay, come on in. Right, here we go, guys. We'll have a quick 9 or 12, and that's all I do. But most darts, like you know, like we all do it, it's Tuesday nights up here. Whoever's darts are sitting on the table, we pick them up, start throwing. I mean, Gadget, Gary Butcher, I mean, he hits a 180 everyone's darts, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's annoying. And that's really, yeah. So you get that, I always call it like the new dart thing. So when you get a new set of darts, it's almost like they trick you into buying them because you play really well with them for the first 10 minutes and then you buy them and you can't hit nothing with them after that. Like I don't know how many people have had that, but that is like, so yeah, you go. And I remember Nitin, he was talking about that at Christmas time. And he was saying there's actually a bit of science behind that. It's all to do with your mindset, your brain.
Yeah, I would imagine there's got to be something there. Because I had the same thing, and my brother had the same thing. So my brother lives in Dubai with Nitin. And we went over to go see him for a holiday. And Bob's brought her darts. She uses 23-gram Luke Woodhouse darts. And I think someone else had bought a set because Bob's was using them and they tried them out and then used them. So then Danny picked them up, and Danny hit 2 180s in his first 5 throws with them. So he ordered a set. And then I was like, right, I'm playing shit. I'm going to get a set of his darts as well. So I got my ones, I got them in 21 grams. And first day, I was like, these might be the ones. These might be the ones that swapped me from a Sean Greatbatch style barrel.
Yeah.
And then the next day come, and I was like, oh, maybe it was just, maybe I'm just having an off day. And the third day, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I've swapped to these darts now. I've put all my points in them. I've got my flights on, my stems on, and I'm playing rubbish. Yeah. So then the next day was Friday night darts league, and I was like, I've got to make a decision. What do I do? Put them away, grab my old darts back, played the best game I've played in years, and I was like, what is the point? What is the point?
I sometimes genuinely do think there is a little bit of common sense behind Peter Wright and how he does it. Sometimes
because he swaps so often,
so you don't get that. Almost, because I also think if you've got a set of old faithfuls that you played really well with, you almost come a little bit slack with them sometimes, because you just start throwing them like you almost don't care. Whereas if you're kind of changing a bit, and see, that's the thing. There's so many different people, isn't it? Because you've got someone like Peter Wright who will use the same set forever, and then you've got other players where almost like the darts are worn away where their fingers would be because they've used them for like 30 years and the tungsten's literally worn away, and they will never change. But you know, Peter Wright's world champion and a millionaire. So it can't be, you know, there's obviously something to it, isn't there? And I sometimes think if you're always changing, you're not putting that extra pressure on yourself. Maybe you concentrate a bit harder and stuff. I don't know, but it literally, like you say, you can, you know, you pick up someone's darts and you can throw them well for 5 minutes, but then you take them home. And I think the only difference is the mindset's changed. They're not yours.
That would make sense.
Do you know what I mean?
That definitely makes sense.
I think, yeah.
Because you must have had, I mean, I don't really watch darts reviews. I've not really watched a lot of your videos. If there's a specific dart that I'm really interested in, then I'll come and watch your review of it. But there must have been some times where you've banged in some absolute massive scores and stuff straight out of the box and just thought, I might use these. Yeah,
I threw the Kusal ones, and this is how bad I am with darts. So the Kusal darts, I proper threw them like. Do you know what? It's not even about the good scores. Sometimes it's just how they felt and how they come out the hand. And I literally threw one of them, and I was like, "Oh, this is not good," because these instantly made me doubt what I've played with for years. And I was like throwing them really well, so I actually got a set. I thought, right, I'll have a set of these. And the only reason I don't play with them is because they got red and green on them. Because I'm like, I've got this thing. No, don't want colours on darts. They're gonna be just a silver tungsten dart. So they literally just sit in a cupboard somewhere, I think, at home. But I literally, they felt lovely. But Kusal, if you want to make a set without the colours on, then I'll buy them.
Yeah, I thought about trying to get the colours out of them.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's the thing. I did ask you, if you remember, I said to you, how'd you get colours out of darts? Because there's some nice sets. Because I throw yours really well as well, didn't I? I was like, oh, you got the red and black on them.
Yeah, well, I now throw with the ones without the red and black on them. I just chuck them in. I put them in there for about an hour, but I chucked them in an ultrasonic jewellery cleaner. Yeah, it took about an hour, but it took all the paint off.
I have to speak to Misty, see if she's got a jewellery cleaner, and we'll be right on that.
It was only like 15 quid off Amazon. Done the job. It was pretty good. I was impressed, but I was streaming at the time, so I had that buzzer next to me, and everyone in the chat moaning that they could just hear that. So I had to turn it off, but. Just a quick message from today's sponsor. They are LP Metal Detecting. If you want to go and check out their website, it is www.lpmetaldetecting.com. They have all the stuff for your metal detecting needs, whether you're a beginner and you want to get involved in metal detecting, or you're a long-standing metal detector and you want to get some more bits, some more pieces, some more stuff. Go and check them out. Also, check them out on Twitter as well at LP Detecting. If you're a fan of the channel, you're a fan of the podcast and all that sort of stuff, and you're not really that interested in the metal detecting side of things, then just go and drop them a follow. You'll be supporting me and you'll be supporting them who are supporting me. So yeah, anyway, back to the podcast. So if let's say someone comes up to you and they say, I've been playing darts for 2 weeks, I've got these brass darts in my that I got free with a dartboard, but I'm quite enjoying playing and I wanna play a bit more. If you had to suggest three, let's go with 3 off the top of your head. I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here.
Okay.
But if you had to suggest 3 darts to them as a beginner, where would you go?
One set is genuinely the easiest set in the world. The designer Spectras.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
You can't go wrong.
What old faithfuls they are. You know, if you've been throwing brasses as well, because they're quite light as well, aren't they? I'd always say to someone, a good starter weight is like a 23 or 24 gram dart, because you can go up or down with that, can't you? But you don't want to go too high, because like I know a lot of people, like their first set of darts, they want like 27, 28 grams, but then when you kind of drop down to that 22 gram, that's a massive drop, isn't it, to that like sort of 22 gram mark. So yeah, I'd always say the designer Spectras, they're just a really nice looking dart as well, and you can't fault them.
And they're like 18, 19 quid as
well. And
well.
that's the other thing,
like
yeah. They're under 20 quid.
Yeah.
I mean, they've probably gone up now to 20 quid. I can't, you know, I mean, and they're not hard to find either, because pretty much everyone sells them, don't they? And then Winmore make a nice little set of darts, the old Proline ones, because they're sort of that nice. Can you remember like the old Darryl Fitton dart and the old Paul Lim dart sort of shape, like the old Unicorn T90s thing?
Yeah, yeah.
So they do a nice one. I think they call it the Proline, and again, that's like in the 25 quid mark. And then shall we Target? Target are quite funny really, because Target makes some seriously expensive darts, which I almost think it's a little bit like, wow, that's a lot of money. But then they've also done some, they're like 80% tungsten darts, which is like 30 quid mark. And there's a few sets in there that I reviewed back in the day, and I can't actually remember the name of one of them. But again, it's just a nice straight-barreled ring grip dart. It's like 27 quid or something on their website. And I threw them on a review, and I actually was literally like, if these were 90 tungsten, I'd play with these. Again, they were another set that I really liked. But yeah, I'd say it's those three really.
Yeah, I've had a few people speak to me, and Zach Thornton as well, when he designs my darts, whatever dart is that I'm bringing out at the time. He'll always say, like, if you like 80% tungsten, or if you don't mind it, then there's nothing wrong with it. But in my head, there's no way I'm throwing an 80% tungsten dart. It's got to be 90 or more. Yeah. Are you the same with that?
That's just back to my child days and like the childishness almost, like, because you know, back in the day growing up, like, you know, the not so the good players, the proper players, because back then 90% tungsten darts wasn't that common to you know, like. So some of the real proper good players, they had 90% tungsten. Like no one had 95 or 97. God, that didn't exist. So literally, if you owned a set of 90% tungsten darts already in your head, you're a player. You're like a proper player, because all these 80%. So it's almost like that mindset. But really, realistically, God, I wish I could. I'd just be one of them people who's like, I don't care what my dart looks like. I don't care what it weighs. I don't care what the tungsten content is, because I can play really well with it. If I was one of them, I'd be fine.
Yeah, it's almost like knowing is worse. Like you'd rather not know. You'd rather someone give you a set of darts, you like them, and then years down the line you find out they were 80s, or they were like 27 grams or something, or they were not something that you would expect to like. Because I think a lot of it is it's in your head before you've even bought the dart. Yeah, you pick out what you want based on what you think you need. Whereas sometimes you might just need someone to say, here, try these. If you like them, have them. I'm not going to tell you what they are.
That's it, exactly that. Because I think, like, you see some of this coaching days, and you see like some of these people talk about the science. I mean, Red Dragon do, like, you can pay for a day. I think Mission are doing it now as well, aren't they? Yeah. Pay for a day, and they sit and watch you and film you and throw and stuff. And I think that's all well and good, but I think sometimes, literally, it's in there. Like literally,
there's so much is in
all
there.
In there. And I think sometimes, like say, if someone just almost lied, I reckon if someone came up to me with a set of designer Spectras and told me they were 250 quid a set, but you can have two, here you go, I'd never not play with them. I'd be like, these are the best darts ever. Do you know what I mean? But because designer Spectras are 20 quid, I almost turn my nose up at them a little bit now, because I've been playing for so many years, but then I'm telling people that's the dart to buy. Like Jimbo, he still plays with them. He loves them. Jimbo rang me up the other day saying, "Oh, you got any?"
He messages me all the time saying, "Have you got any?" I'm like, "No, I give them to Adam."
Yeah, that's it, exactly. I've got them, but I don't know where I put them. But they're in a cupboard somewhere.
So I find if someone gives me a set of darts without even looking at the logo, I can tell you who's made them. Do you think if you were handed a set of darts that had everything stripped off them, and they were just the dart, you could just, because you've thrown so many of them, you could just tell what they are, even the obscure ones and
stuff.
You're
not going to test me now, but
I'm not going to test you now. No, I did a video with Darren Moyes where I was blindfolded, and I thought I'd done all right. I got quite a lot of them, but I do feel that certain darts have a different feel. Like I almost feel like if someone gave me a target dart, I would know it's target 100% of the time.
Target is the one I was then going to say. That was what's I can tell. Like if someone left a set of darts on the table there, I'd know instantly if they were target. And I don't know if it's because theirs are made out of tungsten powder. I mean, they might have changed it now, but I'm wrong. But I think target darts literally tungsten powder that's compressed in a machine and then it's made. But also like just the shininess on them. Like I always notice shot darts and unicorn, their tungsten's so like bright and shiny and crisp, whereas target's quite dark, isn't it? Quite almost dark tungsten. It's the same with Winmore. A lot of their darts and Harrows, their darts are almost a little bit darker. But yeah, most of the time. I mean, some of them you get. I wouldn't be able to, but yeah, definitely a target and definitely a unicorn and a shot dart. Shot's easy.
Yeah, because they're gaining in popularity a lot now as well. Quite a few players. I think Devin Peterson's just gone there as well. Has his new darts come out yet? Have you thrown them? Or?
Yeah, I did all the reviews on those. And funny enough, again, they so shot are always getting stick for being expensive, but then, like I say to people, because people always say, "Oh, you're biased because you get sent the stuff." Well, one, no, I don't actually get sent it. Darts Planet TV gets sent it, so it's not me. I don't keep any of the stuff, so there's no bias there. But what I can't do in 5 minutes is tell you if this dart's going to make you a brilliant player, which I kind of think people want to hear. But the shot stuff, like people do get almost a little bit up about the price of it, because some of their stuff's like 90 quid. But then when you think what all the world champion darts go, and Phil Taylor darts and Barneveld darts go for, they're all in the 100 quid mark anyway. But the shot darts, I can guarantee you, they've spent a lot more time and work into making them than perhaps Target did on like the Barney dart. It was 150 quid or whatever. So shot stuff is actually, it's really good quality, and I'm not surprised. And I think in time, more and more players probably will use them. Same with Loxley and the other ones. Like there's a lot of companies out there, but obviously at the minute, Target have the budget to turn to any player in the world really and go, we want, do you fancy coming across to us? How many years you got left on your deal? We'll make your next set. We'll do this. So, I mean, they've got, AJ Lewis, Taylor, Barney. They've got all of them, really, haven't they? The big boys. So. Yeah.
Yeah, Loxley seems to be a company that are very much on the up, and they seem to be doing the right things as well, if that makes sense. You can sign whoever you want, you can do whatever you want, but they seem to be quite switched on with what they're doing on socials and what they're bringing out and stuff. Like, have you got a set of the Aaron Beanie baked bean flights?
No, I must be the only person that doesn't have a set of Aaron Beanie baked bean flights. Like Kurt did a brilliant thing, didn't he? That went Heinz. I love that.
Yeah, they did.
Heinz retweeted Kurt, didn't he? Because he took a picture of the darts next to a plate of beans, didn't he? But that's brilliant. But I do. I got a lot of time for Loxley. They've helped me. The guy Matt there. He's messaged me a couple. I got a friend request on Facebook, and it's like, I got 100 mutual friends. So I don't really know him. I must know him. So I accepted it, and a message come through like, "Oh, Adam," and it was simply, "Adam, thanks for I've just watched the reviews you did on darts. I'm Matt. I'm one of the guys that does Loxley. So thank you for that." And I just thought that's really nice because I've never heard a word from anyone else. So straight away, all of a sudden, that's a connection there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Just a simple thank you. Like, really enjoyed watching it. And then from that, I remember we all did Q School, didn't we? And I put a tweet out saying I don't own a dart shirt and I never probably will. And Matt was like, "Can we change your mind on that? We'll make you one." And I was like, "Well, if you make me one, then I'll wear it." Do you know what I mean? It's just only a fair deal, isn't it? So yeah, they're nice. They're a good company. And the darts are all right as well. Well, I always do at Christmas time. I'll do my top darts of the year, and it wasn't this year. It was last year. One of the Loxley darts.
The Sheriff.
The Sheriffs, yeah.
Yeah,
really
I had
nice.
a set of them, and I was very tempted to swap over to them.
Yeah, when people say, like you said earlier, like how many sets darts really made you really tempted. The Sheriffs were to the point where I did play with them for a little while, but then again, it's just my fragile brain kicking in. Like, these aren't actually your darts, you know what I mean, sort of thing. Yeah, and I put them away for a little while, but they do come out from time to time. Again, because they're black, they've got the black PVD coating on them. Already in my head, there's a little bit there that I don't like about them.
Yeah.
So
there you go, Loxley. Bring out a natural tungsten, and they'll be played in Super League by Adam White. We touched on Q School there a little bit. We went to Q School together.
We did.
How did you? That was your first Q School, wasn't it?
Yeah, my first of one. Yeah.
How did you feel it went? And was there anything that surprised you, or sort of anything like that?
I think. I think I probably put it a bit too much on a pedestal. Like, on the way down there, we were saying things like, "Oh, if we win one game, we're happy." So already, like, the mindset's a little bit like, the mother-in-law would tell me off for that 'cause she classed that as a defeatist attitude. But you know, in my head, 1 win and I'm happy. And I got that on the very first game. And but then what opened my eyes was probably a little bit after Q School when we got home. I was like, there's a lot more games I could have won there, and I didn't play very well at all. And it sort of opened your eyes up a little bit to it, that you think it's out of reach, but all you need is one good day. And I've always laughed at that and saying, well, you know, that one good day's out of reach. But then when you're actually there and you're actually playing it and you see who's winning and stuff, you think, because I lost that guy, was it something Johnson? And
Darren Johnson,
Darren
yeah. I was sat on the table, we were allowed phones finally at Pro Tours and stuff, and I was watching the game and I was like, how? How did I
lose that? But then when I checked back, he'd got through, well, he got through to second stage. But
he's a serious player.
He was like 90 averages every game. And literally, I missed so many darts at doubles. And he played really well as well. It was just one of them games where my first dart just dropped in the treble 20. So then if that happens, it's almost like, right, relax, close your eyes. You get another one, or, you know.
You're going to hit at least a ton every go.
Hit at least a ton. And you're first like, oh, I feel great. And whatever he got. And I also, with that mentality of, when he's throwing and he was hitting a ton 40, I was like, I don't care what you've got, get out of my way, I'm going to get another score, do you know what I mean? And you were right in the groove. And then when I got the double, all of a sudden, like, a couple were on the wires, but most of them, were shocking.
So from the sound of it, you didn't really know who he was beforehand?
No, and that's what I like. And that's always been my best mindset in darts. If I'm playing someone I know, and that's what kind of like, well, I don't avoid social media, I'm on it and I do look at it, but I don't go too deep into it, like when people talk darts, because I quite like not knowing. Yeah. And I just feel you play your better game when you treat that person as an equal and just get on with it. Yeah. Because I think, like, sometimes, you know, Twitter's amazing for it, very magical place where anyone can be anyone they want to be. And then all of a sudden, when you play these people that you've seen on Twitter that hit 12 dart legs, and you think, gosh, shit, he's good, I'm in trouble here. And then you go to play him and you're like, wait a minute. all these 90 averages you've been posted on Twitter, what's happened? But you know. Yeah. So I do prefer to not know, really. Be the underdog as such, innit, I suppose.
Yeah, I think for me that's always tough, because even if I don't want to know, I already know. Yeah. Like Darren Johnson in particular, I've marked for him probably 10, 15 times on a Pro Tour. Yeah. So he's a top player. I'd have gone against him and thought, actually, it'd have probably done me a favour if I'd have gone against someone like him. Yeah. Because my Q School, so about 3 months before Q School, there was this part of me that was saying, I might actually, like, I think there's a chance I'm going to get to stage 2, because I was playing really well. Yeah. I was playing the Wednesday league, and I'd played really well in that. I was playing the Darren's Thursday night leagues, and I was beating players who a year ago I'd never even imagined I'd be able to beat. Yeah. And I was playing all right. And then the last 2 months, I don't know what happened, I just went shit. I went completely awful. And I was like, I got to about 2 weeks before Q School, then got COVID. And then I had like 10 days in bed, because I had to, obviously it was a bit more serious back then, it was all self-isolation and stuff. So I didn't throw a dart for about 2 weeks before Q School. And then I got there and I was like, fuck it. I was like, whatever. Yeah. Whatever happens here. There was a big part of me that was saying, don't go, there's no need to go. But I had the whole thing paid for by, I had about four different sponsors. Yeah. And I was like, if I don't go, I've got to let them all down. And I was like, I'm not coming here to qualify Q School and get a tour card. I was like, just turn up and play darts. Even when I was there, it went worse than I thought it would, playing bad as well.
That's the thing. I think not everyone could be an Andrew Gilding, can they? No. I think pretty much 90% of that room have all been there a few times, haven't they? And I think really, I think if anything for us, it was just that. I mean, I know you've experienced the Pro Tour with your marking and stuff, but just that new bit of sitting on the table, following. Like, I was a nightmare with like Plummy and yourself. Like, you guys are concentrating on when you're playing, and I'm tapping your shoulder. When am I on? When am I on? How does this Dart Connect thing work? I haven't got a chalk. Like, oh God, I don't know how to work Dart Connect. Oh God, I'm gonna have to win, because if I lose, I've got to. But luckily, we had scorers this year, didn't we? So that was straight away off. But but next time I won't be annoying you guys with, when am I on? How do I know when I'm on? What board am I on? Do you know what I mean? Sort of thing. Yeah. So it's just, you learnt from it. And I think also with like the not practicing side of it, I'm quite a weirdo, because I would actually that would almost help me, because I'm taking the pressure off. Because if I practice too much, I put too much pressure on myself to play well. And I think that's the fine line with practicing, because I think when people do practice, and they're playing really well, they just expect to play well. And then when you have the off ones, it really kicks you in the arse and in the teeth, doesn't it? And it proper, like, you think, what the hell? Why do I deserve that? What the fuck have I done to deserve that? Do you know what I mean? But I think, and so sometimes it's good to have those little breaks. I know, really, ideally, you didn't want the break you got, but sometimes just to break it up a little bit, because it's interesting. I don't know how hard because you were practicing quite a lot, weren't you? Early doors.
Yeah, I was overplaying massively, and that was the thing was I was playing darts Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Thursdays was my day off because I had to look after Dog because Bob went to darts and they asked me to play for their team and I was like, I just can't do it.
Well, that was Bob's coming to play me on the Thursday.
Yeah. And then Friday I played up here in tournaments, and then if there were tournaments on the weekend, I'd play them as well. And the other thing is, 4, 5, 6 days a week I was playing darts. I'd drink 5 or 6 pints every time. I was drinking like 30 pints a week. Playing darts. I never drink socially, just darts. And it just got to the point it was just like stupid.
See, that's where kind of I'm a little bit lucky, because obviously going back to like the start of the whole podcast thing, when you said about where I grew up, I said I grew up on a little farm, and it was in the arse, and my nearest next door neighbour was like a mile away. So the day I passed my driving test, my dad and my mum were like, result, we got a driver for darts now. So literally I always used to drive. So I'd done that youth thing, drinking cokes and stuff, and I remember like playing under 21s in youth, and like all the youth players drunk, and I'd still be on a lemonade or a Diet Coke. You know, I'd class drinking as a packet of wine gums. So watching them and then playing them and stuff, I was like, literally, why are they having a drink? Why are they having a drink? And I went through that for years, and then because I always drove to darts and kept on doing it, and literally, it's literally only been, well, even Q school, you was like, we'd get there and you'd have a few drinks, wouldn't you?
Oh, you
have a few.
I was smashed.
We were getting there, and I was like ordering a pint of Pepsi Max from the bar when we first got there, and everyone was like, "Wait, are you not drinking today?" No, I have a pint before I play, or 2 pints before I play, but then since then, I've gone the other way, where now, because the missus is saying, "Oh, I'll drive you to darts," I'm like, so I've got in my head I need 4 pints for my perfect game. So why am I thinking I need 4 pints to play well at darts, whereas I can sit at home and not drink? And I don't really throw at home, but if I do throw at home, I'm sure I'll be have a higher average than I would at Super League or County, because you're in your own little environment, you're on your home pitch, you're not trying too hard. So I always think I think drinking helps bring out that mentality, but then you also get to the point where you are thinking more about, shit, have I drunk enough? Do I need one more drink? Oh no, I've drunk one too many. You know, I mean, Darren Webster, he like measures his out, doesn't he? He's got like a system and everything.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the players do. I mean, it's something that I've never understood, is why people will turn around and say, "Oh no, they don't drink. They don't drink." I'm like, I've been there for years and years and years. The world #1's nickname is after a drink.
Well, yeah, his favourite drink.
His favourite drink. It's like I've never really understood why people are so in their minds they really believe that people don't drink. Never really understood that.
Well, I mean, I don't know, you'd have seen it more than me, but the old story was that like a lot of the pro players used to walk around with like a pint of Diet Coke, but the Diet Coke looked very much like there weren't enough syrup in there, because it was very much golden colour, this pint glass that a lot of them walk around. So the drinking mentality's there. I understand why they kind of want to take the drinking mentality away. So, and there's a lot of youngsters that obviously will be listening to this and follow us on the social medias and stuff, that probably back then when I was thinking, why are they talking about drinking? Why do they need drinking? And I think the best thing to do is just stay with that mentality, because don't let that steep in change. Because I do understand that relaxing thing. It's not like you need to get pissed. You just want something. Find a way in your head. I remember like the famous night of me and Barney and whatnot, and the you know the Dark Wolf thing. And I sat chatting to Barney, and I actually asked him that night. I said, "How many pints did you need to drink before you played?" And he said, "Sometimes I'd drink, but most of the time I didn't. I'd meditate." And I laughed because I thought he was joking, but he was dead serious. He was like, he found that he'd just go in his room, sit there, put some music on, listen. I was like, this is a bit deep, Barney. Do you know what I mean? But he said that he listened to certain meditation things that he found worked for him. So then when he'd walk out, he just felt like, he was back at home in his living room. playing Phil Taylor in front of millions of people watching on TV.
Yeah, I've looked into it, I've researched it and stuff, and I think it does just come down to confidence, really, doesn't it? It's all confidence. If you're confident in your ability, you don't need as much, or you don't need to drink at all. Yeah. Whereas if you're not, like me, I've never really been the most confident person in the world, and I've never struggled in other sports. Basketball, I was really good at. Football, I was decent at. At no point did I think, oh, I'm going to miss this. I'm going to do this wrong in the game. It's just darts. But then even at a young age, like 15, 16, I'm not old enough to drink, but I was shaking to the point where I used to use this stuff called Rescue Remedy, which is really good for like...
A lot of dart cases around the world have got Rescue Remedy in them.
But I was like, that was my alcohol before I could drink alcohol.
Yeah. Because
it was like the only thing that even that didn't really work. I think it's more of a placebo anyway. Yeah. But yeah, as soon as I was 18, that was it. Oh, actually,
but is the beer not a placebo thing as well, isn't it?
It probably is. Yeah, but it works for me. It works for me. Yeah, it's one of those things. If it works for you, it works for you. I do think alcohol isn't a necessary part of darts, but I think a lot of people have grown up knowing that it is, or thinking that they know that it is, to the point that it now is. Yeah,
and I think that's part of me why, like, even at Q School, looking around the room, young Leighton Bennett in there, because I was joking with him when I take the mickey out of him, because he genuinely had a bottle of fruit shoot, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he just banged in like 100 average or something, or 99 average for a bottle of fruit shoot. And then on the other side, you've got the older generation, your Richie Burnett's, your Rob Thorntons, and all those guys who, they're not going to be walking around with a fruit shoot, are they? No. But it'll be interesting to see. And this is the bit, like, because I'm saying, like, please, I'm not meaning I'm anywhere near in this sort of level, but like, when I was Leighton's age, I was the same, but will there come a day where, he does think, oh, actually the fruit shoot's not worked today, I might have to have a pint. Because I've still never, like, he got a bit of stick the other day on social media because he had a bottle of bloody appetizer and someone thought it was lager.
I did see that, actually, but wasn't it on like it was on the JDC post or something?
Yeah.
It was like, mate, come on.
It's like, who cares anyway? One, like, every single person giving him stick on that post. Right, let's start this off. He's 16 or whatever he is. Tell me a 16-year-old that hasn't at least had one beer in their life, for a start. So if it was a beer, who gives a shit? And two, it's not a beer. Just look at the bloody picture.
Yeah, and I don't believe for a second that Leighton would have managed to have got from his seat to the streaming board with a bottle of beer in his hand, and no one went,
wait a minute,
I should probably
exactly.
go and intervene there.
Yeah, so, but I've never, but like I say, I think the PDC have got a little bit of a thing where they would like to distance themselves from the drinking side of it. But in the same breath that they're trying to distance themselves from it, they're holding a Premier League at the O2 Arena where you've got people chucking beer at each other. So, pick one, PDC.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So is there a plan to go back to Q School at some point?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll go again next year, won't we?
I'll see about that.
Yeah.
I might do. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought the video turned out all right.
Yeah.
I was quite happy with that. One thing about the video was I'd done all my filming and stuff, and I got home and I started editing it, and I come down after about 2 hours of editing. And I was like, I think it's gonna be shit. And Bob was like, what do you mean it's gonna be shit? It's gonna be fine. Why do you not like the video? I was like, I'm pissed in every clip. I've had to cut so much out because I'm just waffling, just talking absolute rubbish. But yeah, I think I'd go again.
I think, because even I know it's quite strict on Insider, isn't it, for taking pictures or filming everything. Because I remember the first time we walked through those doors and I saw all the boards and I saw people that I used to watch on TV playing darts and practice and stuff. I just wanted to go upstairs and just take a photo, but I never dared. And I also thought I'll get a bollocking if I do. But I do think that was the one bit that was kind of missing from that, wasn't it? If it just 30-second little clip for people to see what it's like in there. Because I don't think it's like, because it wasn't like what I thought it would be like. And I think a lot of people that watched that video would have loved to have just had that chance to see what we saw.
Yeah.
And how actually it's nothing to be afraid of. It's not that bad. There's a bar in the other room where there's some practice boards. And then you come through to the main hall where we all sat around our tables. And then just shitloads of good games of darts going on to watch, really, and it's kind of, you look after yourself in there, really, don't you? It's just a nice little. basically, I remember a few people told me if you can't play your best game there, like on those boards in that environment, then it's your own fault. There's nothing else to blame.
Yeah, yeah. I remember speaking to Nathan Derry. This was a few years ago. We were in Barnsley at a pro tour, and I'd played on the boards once before because they held a Markers Cup, which is all the referees and the markers and stuff all played in this tournament at the end of the day. And I lost in the final to Keith Bisbee, but I'd played like quite well. I'd missed the ball for 170 in one of the other matches. I did a couple of 180s on the way as well, and that was better than I would have expected myself to do. That was better than the norm for the way that I'd played darts. And it was like it's so perfect that it feels about 6 inches closer.
Yeah, it feels closer to it.
It's not, but it feels like it is because everything's so perfect. You can't see anyone else when you're throwing. The board's perfect. The hockey's perfect.
Yeah.
The whiteboards are perfect. It's
That's
like
the first,
everything's
literally
right.
the first 3 darts I threw in there. I was like, oh, it feels like you can always put them in.
Yeah.
It? Like, so literally, I was straight away like, oh no. Now it really is my fault if I don't play well. Do you know? Because there is nothing to play. A few people come off. Oh, my scorer was a bit iffy, and I was like, I didn't even notice I had a scorer. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? It was just so perfect, isn't it?
While we were at school, I mean, at Q School, I'm happily in a relationship with Bob's. You're happily engaged and with a child on the way. Yeah. We both got a bit of a man crush while we were there. Nitin Kumar.
Yeah.
What a bloke.
Nice, isn't he?
Oh, what a man.
Yeah. I did sort of say to my missus I was off to Dubai and going to leave her. But, yeah, I mean, what a ridiculously nice man.
I know. I went and saw him. When we went to Dubai. I was just like, it's just the best thing. Yeah. I think as soon as darts in sort of that area of the world and India and stuff, he's plenty good enough, isn't he? To get.
Yeah, I mean, we all went, didn't we? Like after the first day, we sort of like, well, it was like my crown and glory because you were all waiting for me because I was the one that won, wasn't it? So I'm coming out there all smug, like, yeah, all right, boys, you've been waiting for me, sort of thing. And we all said, right, should we go find a pub somewhere in Milton Keynes and go have a few drinks and watch the football and have a few games of darts, didn't we? Turns out that's not an easy thing to achieve, is it?
No, we were roaming around for quite a while.
Yeah. And then we found a sports bar when the taxi pulled up. We were like, hold on, mate. Are you serious? Are we getting out here? Like, is that okay?
Yeah, because we thought. So we did a Google, and there was a Riley's nearby, and we were like, oh, okay, we'll just go there. So we had to give the taxi driver the address, and we turned up, and we were at Riley's head office, not an actual Riley's, which was And then
and literally like you knew him a little bit through your brother in Dubai, didn't you? So you knew to chat to him, and then me and Plummy. It was kind of like the first time, and it was literally by the end of the day we were all going back to the hotel, and it was literally like best friends, wasn't it? Really, everyone was just had a really good. It was almost, to be fair, I had more fun there than I did that day at Q School, really, and I'd won a game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was just a really good day, and then we never got to have our race on the scooters, unfortunately.
No, I went and looked, and they had gone. I think that would have been fun. I think I'd have definitely come off though. I was still pissed like 8 hours later. So, last thing I wanted to touch on was the whole Dartwolf thing. So this was a bit mad. I think Dartwolf kind of took Twitter especially, but definitely darts by storm a little bit. And a lot of people thought it wasn't real, and a lot of people thought it was all fake, and a lot of people thought it was Gav as well, actually.
Yeah.
But when did you first hear about Dartwolf, and what was that? What was your reaction to this bloke coming in and splashing crap loads of money?
So we used to do like a Sunday night live stream. And all it was literally like Gav had got some new cameras. He'd invested a bit into the channel. He'd done this, and he said, right, need to recoup a few quid, mate, because I just spent a shitload of money on like these cameras for the reviews and stuff. So do you mind doing a live stream? And literally I was like, well, how's a live stream going to make you money? And he said, oh no, well, what we'll do is we'll do it so we have like people can donate, and we'll also do a raffle. We'll give away some prizes and stuff, and it's like £1 a ticket or whatever in this raffle thing. So I was like, all right, that's fair enough. So we went over and did a live stream. We did a couple, and I can't remember what it was. I think it literally was like we were all messing about, just throwing darts. I hit 180 or something, and then Gav hit one. And I'd never thought I'd ever see the day that fucking Gav would hit 180. Do you know what I mean? And I sat there, and I was like, I don't believe he's just done that. But it was quite a nice moment, and it was a lovely moment as well, because you got to, you know, to be fair to him, you got to see a moment where he's hit his first ever 180, and he'd done it on a live stream and people watching, and he was proper, like, he was almost in tears, he was so happy. And it kind of made me think, oh, you know, it's quite nice, really. But then the following week, we did a live stream, and when you do, is it Super Chat or something?
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
You don't know. This guy just Super Chatted 180 quid. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, I saw it come up. I was like, someone just put 180 quid in the pot. Like, I'm nudging him, like, you're sitting there on the screen, 180 quid. We didn't think nothing of it. And then I think, if I remember rightly, another one went in. And I was like, what's his name on YouTube or something? Like, you know, the Super Chat. Dartwolf? Dartwolf, thank you, Dartwolf. 180 quid. Thank you. This is amazing. Like, thank you. And then the next day, I woke up in the morning with a load of notifications on my phone, and there was like a video of one of the old Mahoney from.
Oh yeah, because he'd done like the cameos, hadn't he?
yeah, old Mahoney from. Oh God, you know, the old police academies, wasn't it? Well, I grew up watching them, so I was always a bit starstruck. I was more annoyed though as well, because Mahoney's speech the whole time was, "Well done on your 180, Gav," and I sat there like, whoa, wait a minute. Mahoney, like, hero, hasn't mentioned me yet. And I'm sitting there watching it. He'll mention Adam in a minute. No, he never did. So then I sat there and thought, wait a minute, is this Gav? Because I was like, all these celebrities are coming on saying, well done, Gav. There's no well done Adam in here yet. And obviously, you know, Darts Pro TV, you know, this guy's, you know, so I thought, it's Gav put money. So I actually turned to Gav and was like, is it you? Are you on a wind up? And he was like, and he literally swore blind. He was like, no, mate. He said, I wish it was, but it's not. I have no clue who this is. Didn't think nothing of it. Did a live stream again the following week. Nothing happened. This guy didn't pop up. And then the following week, he popped up again, put a lump of money in, and then some more videos turned up. And then all of a sudden, Gav got like a message on Twitter saying, I want to do something for the darting community, you know, and it was timed perfectly as well, because it was when we were sort of doing the lockdowns and stuff. Well, obviously it was just before lockdown, a lot of it, but then really when it kicked off was lockdown came, didn't it? And he said, I want to do something, and I didn't see any of the messages, so I don't actually know what happened, but what I do know, the ins and outs, was he literally said, basically, I want to help people. You lot, you know, I can afford it. Let's do some Nexuses and bits and bobs, and that's how he appeared, really.
But yeah, so he got involved in quite a few people. He got involved in my channel as well. He helped out the GDL, Carter Guinea as well.
Yeah,
with the
he
shirts
sponsored him as well with the shirts, and also sponsored him to go Q School, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I messaged him a few times on the Facebook. Funny enough, I actually got a friend request from him on Facebook, and I'd never ever actually spoken to him. And there was a couple of times where, like, I always remember he sent like some flowers and stuff, because obviously the famous live stream night where we gave away these just ridiculous amounts of prizes and stuff, it was manic. And after it, in the post came like some flowers and some chocolates and bits. And I always remember, and that was another moment that was kind of a little bit odd, because I remember saying, I'm going to message him and say thank you. And Gav, because Gav always dealt with him, he went, no, leave him alone, mate, don't message him. Enough people messaged him. And I always feel bad to this day, because I wish I'd messaged him to say thank you, because he's never ever spoken to me since. And I always think, did he not? Like, has he like never messaged me again because I didn't say thank you? But Gav was like, no. He knows we're all grateful. Leave him alone. Let him be. He gets 100 messages a day for people wanting this and that and stuff. Because obviously it must be hard for him as well. Because I've got my ideas who it is, but do you know what I mean? But I've never to this day even known who it is. And to be fair, I've never really cared either, because I quite like a little bit of mystery about it, really. You know. But I mean, it was funny because obviously I was getting asked constantly, who is it? And I was like, and I'd just make up names, like messing about, like, oh, I know it is, it's so-and-so and stuff. And like, I used to tell people it was Matthew McConaughey, the American actor, and people were like, really? Do you think, yeah, he likes his darts, look at his Twitter.
Yeah, because he'd tweeted about Going Price on it, hadn't he?
He tweeted about Going Price. So I was like, yeah, look, Matthew McConaughey, that's who it is. A lot of people obviously thought it was Gary Plummer as well, because Target, a lot of the stuff was Target. But at the time, we were all locked down. So the Nexus, it was always going to be a kind of short-lived thing, the Nexus. But because we're locked down, the Nexus was a saviour, because that was the only chance we got to see a lot of each other. It was like our little faces on the Nexus board, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because the online leagues hadn't really become a thing yet. at that
No,
point?
no one. Like, I mean, like, people used to say to me, "Oh, have you got N01?" I was like, "What's N01? What's that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Knacker." I was like, "What's knacker?" Like, I didn't know, because every game of darts I ever played was in a pub or a community centre. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's this? And then I'd be like, "Well, how do I do this then?" They're like, "Oh, well, you need a camera on your board, and then you need like a computer or tab." Well, I don't own a computer, so I can't play it. Do you know what I mean? And that's, yeah. But I mean, the GDL have done amazing, haven't they?
Oh no, I think they're on like 27 leagues or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean the standard of some of the stuff in there. I mean, they've got proper players playing in that, and I suppose really they, a lot of people sort of benefited through Dart Wolf. Like, he's helped a lot of people, and certainly wouldn't begrudge him. And if he's watching this, like, know that everyone's grateful for what you've done, and I almost feel a little bad for him, because I'm sure he must probably got a little bit fed up of people asking for stuff when.
Yeah, that's the thing though. If ever you show any what's the word? Any generosity, everyone's like, message them. I've got this. I've got that. This has happened. That's happened. Can I have some darts, please? It's like, it's not going to help your situation by okay, whatever.
I sat there, I was like a dreamer, because obviously when he first turned up, I thought, God, is this guy one day going to turn around and go, Adam, I just want you. I'm going to back you for a year. Don't go to work. I'm going to be your sponsor, and you just practice. Because at the time, like just before lockdown, I was having a little practice field gilding and stuff, and like doing all right, and I weren't playing too bad. And I used to laugh and joke about it, thinking, God, if my life changed, I won the lottery tomorrow, I reckon I'd be all right at this game. But do you know what I mean? But so I started being a dreamer, and I started living the dream that a lot of people did, and it was amazing. But what it also was absolute mayhem, manic.
Yeah, because you had to, obviously you give away like thousands. How many? Do you know how many prizes it was that you give away, or roughly?
It was literally hundreds and hundreds of prizes. I remember. So literally, it worked out that we did the live show with Barney. And it worked out something that we'd worked it out to get all the prizes done. We'd have to, because it was literally just throwing darts with Barney, wasn't it? And we're chucking at bullseyes on one knee and all this sort of thing. And we'd worked out that it was literally like every 30 seconds or 1 minute, someone would have to pull a raffle ticket out and give away a prize for us to give away that many prizes in the time slot we had available. And literally, so I was literally just constantly just grabbing a handful of tickets, going, "Oh, 101, you've won, well done." Sort of, and then throw some more darts. And Barney was doing it. But to be fair to Barney, brilliant guy, because a lot of people have said, "Oh, Barney's a bit of a funny one," But he was amazing, because even when we'd finished, I was expecting him to go, "Right, see you, bye." He didn't. He stayed. He said to me, "Do you want some more games of darts?" Because he'd enjoyed our game that we had. Do you know what I mean? He was like, and he said to me, he's like, "I'll show you some practice routines and stuff." He was brilliant. It's like best night of my life. I'm sitting here practicing with 5-time champion of the world Raymond van Barneveld, and he's turning to me going, "You're good," and I'm like, "Yeah, you're better," but but you know what I mean? It was amazing. But yeah, literally, I mean, we're talking hundreds and hundreds of prizes. And then what made it even worse was, and this was quite a funny story, because we had to pull out 3 or 4 tickets for £1,000 cash prize. And we gave out my mobile number as the number to ring. And they might watch this, but Will Abs, you're on the naughty step for this, and Simon Leggett. So we said, this is your number. First person to ring Adam now wins £1,000. My phone rang instantly with Will Abs. And I was like, "You dick." Because this is one of my mates. I was like, "Don't fuck about." So I hung up on him. And then he actually messaged me going, "Sorry, mate, couldn't resist." And then my phone, whilst I was reading that message saying, "Sorry, mate, can't resist," my phone rings, and it's not a number, unrecognised number. It's Simon Leggett, who's saved in my phone because he's one of my mates. So I was again hung up going, "Stop being a dick. We're trying to give away £1,000 here." And he replied with, "No, it's my fucking number." So he rang back again, and I've answered it and gone, "You right, Si?" And he's like, "Yeah, 100, whatever it was, I can't remember what the number was, 159, green, that's my number." And I was like, "Not now, mate, not now, don't be winding me up." And he's like, no, seriously, that's my number." So I was like, "Well, no, mate, you want £1,000. Do you know what I mean? And it was just absolutely bizarre. And then the following day, the post office trips was just...
They must have loved that.
Oh, mate, I remember... I got a sack barrow, and I literally had this because to be fair, like almost a little bit of a diva with Darts Planet TV because obviously I'm not Darts Planet TV. That's Gav and Chris originally, Chris Mason and Gav. I'm just a guy that did some reviews, but obviously I said I will help out where I can here with this, and I didn't ask for a penny for it or nothing. And one of the things Gav said, he was literally like, you know, can you possibly? I'm trying so hard to get these prizes out because Dartwolf's given away like 500 bloody prizes, and admittedly some of them were literally something as stupid as just a set of flights. Yeah. But other prizes were a set of darts, a dart shirt or something. You know what I mean? They were all like, so I just remember going around there, I was like, right, I will help, I'll do what I can. So I went round there and I went, right, what do you want me to do? And I thought it might be like sticking a set of darts, wrapping them up and everything. And Gav just literally had, I've never seen a pile like it of parcels strapped in this massive box. So much so that I couldn't lift it, I had to get a sack barrow. So I had so I actually got 2 sack barrows, which I had to wheel out to my car of this box. It was huge, just full of prizes. And then I had to go to the post office to get them posted, and which they wanted them scanned all individually. I was in the post office for 2 hours getting these prizes sent out. And I literally come back and went, I ain't helping no more. I've done my bit. And then sadly, like literally as quick as he came, he kind of vanished. So I got a message off him a while back, literally going, hope you're okay, Adam. But hope everything's okay. And I just replied with, yeah, all good, mate. I hope you're good. And he didn't even reply to that. So, you know, still to this day, don't know who he is. I mean, you like you say, and then the next time I saw him, he was doing a bit with you, doing a bit with I think the Scottish lad, doing a bit with Carter. So he's obviously trying to help everyone.
Yeah,
which is good, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got a bit of stick at some point, but it's kind of like, it's one of those things. It's like, if you can't help everyone, and the people who aren't involved get a bit upset about it. Yeah, but you touched on there saying that if you could sack off work, you reckon you'd be quite good at this. Now, me and you, we had the same job. Yeah. We're both tree surgeons. Yeah. There are days where I've got darts in the evening, and I get to my job, and they say you're doing this, and I'm thinking, I've got darts later. I'm not gonna be able to feel my arms. Yeah. Like you must get that as well.
I said to you even before, haven't I? When like you've come off like and you're a bit gutted, like, oh, I didn't play very well. I said, what did you do? The first thing I said is, what have you been doing today at work? Isn't it? And that is the thing. Like and for those that don't know, me and Jack do like sort of tree surgery and whatnot. Although I'm 40 this year, so I'm getting a bit lazier, so I don't do it quite as hard as Jack now. But like, for example, a little bit of minor education on tree surgery. Beechwood weighs a shitload more than a willow does. Do you know? So if you're cutting down a beech tree and you've got a load of beech logs around, you literally walk into darts that night like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Your arms are pumped. You could take on anyone in the world. You've had the best workout in the world. But try playing darts with arms like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So all of a sudden, we're playing darts completely differently to how we would have done the night before or the night before that. Do you know what I mean? But it's the same for anyone in any profession. I mean, I was when my brother was a plasterer, and if he'd had it's the same thing. He's like shoulder or whatever, but also like the cement on his fingers. So if it was like a Sunday and we were playing a bit of Super League, he'd play really well because he hasn't got that dry, horrible hands from his job and stuff. So. People talk about Johnny Clayton still working. I very much doubt he works on the day he's playing the Premier League, though, does he?
No. No, because apparently the Premier League, they have to be in their hotels by 10 o'clock on the Tuesday. Yeah. So they have to, do all their media stuff on the Wednesday and stuff, make sure they're there. Because if one of them's late or something, or if one of them, something goes wrong and they can't turn up, then they've got to stop the match. They can't play the match. So they're quite regimented and quite serious on what time they get there.
But it's just that whole build up and organisation to how you play, isn't it? It's like the one dart average in Super League. I've had 2 30s in Super League. I've had a few 29s and 27s and 20. I had quite a few. Because I always remember Ryan Meikle, little name drop, because Ryan Meikle always used to laugh and joke. He always used to be like, how do you do this? Because obviously Ryan played county for Suffolk, but obviously PDC as well. But So he'd look at my Norfolk averages when I'd play Super League, and he'd go, "You got man of the match again at the weekend with a 28 or whatever." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I played all right." He's like, "How come you're so shit on a Tuesday then?" And I'm like, "Well, Ryan, basically, the difference is on a county weekend, and it's normally the away games are my best one, because on a Saturday, obviously when I was in the County A, so on a Saturday you're driving up in a bus, you're all relaxed, you're chilled, you're looking forward to a weekend away with friends, because let's face it, we don't play county darts for the darts really, because you're only getting one game of darts for quite a lot of money. So it's a nice weekend away with friends, and I'm sitting there on the bus on the way up there, and again, Norfolk County players might think wrong attitude, but I'm sitting there planning the evening with the lads after Saturday's play. We'll go out for a meal, nice Chinese buffet, a couple of drinks, we'll find a club, get to bed about 1-ish, so, you know, County A on the Sunday. So you already got that relaxed mindset, but also throughout the day we've been throwing darts, and then on the Sunday you're throwing darts. All you're caring about is darts. So then when I used to walk onto the county stage, it almost looked like you could put them in. It was easy because I'd been practicing, and I'd been practicing with good players. But then on a Tuesday for Super League, I've been at work lugging wood about all day, 60, 70 foot up a tree and stuff. And then I get home, all I've got time to do is shower. The first time I throw my darts is when I've walked in and said hello to everyone, and then you're in a queue of 10 people trying to throw darts at a board, and then, okay, Super League, we've got a practice board, but you get 5 minutes on that before you play, and then you expect to hit 30 average. It's not as easy as that, is it? So.
No. Right, Adam, I think we'll end it there. Thanks very much, I really appreciate it.
No worries, mate.
We'll probably we'll get you back as well, and we'll do more topical stuff, whatever's going on at the time, but I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Cheers, pal. Thank you. Enjoy, guys, and I'll see you all again soon.
Cheers.